Sure. Okay, so first let me admit that ONDC is an area where I'm just barely getting into it myself because I might be working with a company which is a central player in the space. Just like 6 years ago, I got into this UPI thing by, some sort of happy accident. ONDC similarly, I think, unfolding in front of me as we speak, but it's a very early stage area for me. But I think the importance of ONDC will be the following: that if you look at, I don't know if you are following, I guess you all are following this debate of what is Web 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, right? So the Web 1.0 was very democratic. There were web pages everywhere and life was simple, and we clicked from one hyperlink to the other, went from one page to the other, consumed information. We were mostly information consumers. In the second Web 2.0, what happened was certain very powerful companies emerged, like Amazon, Facebook, Google, right? Twitter. They have essentially cornered and built these, what we call walled estates, right? You enter this empire and you are kind of stuck, right? You are not going to be able to unlock yourself that easily because you can't survive, because once you leave that, it's like you try to get on WhatsApp, right? Many of us, I think once upon a time, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, tried to say, okay, no more WhatsApp, we'll go to Signal. And I think most of us went back. Why was that? Because it was impossible to survive unless the entire network effect was there and all the people that you're working with were there. So therefore, the nature of the internet economy lends itself very well to monopolies appearing. And if the monopoly is handling a very useful function, it builds momentum and traction, and there is so much that is happening around it that it's impossible to leave. So once you check into that hotel, you can't get out. That's basically how it appears, and that's why these companies have so much market cap and so much market power, and therefore they're under regulatory watch and all of that. I think in the ONDC world, what seems to be the interesting idea, at least at the core of it, and again, I must admit, I'm talking about the core idea, not so much the details, is that if you look at an Amazon or a Flipkart, there is a lot of complaints coming from, merchants who are essentially become captive. So it's one thing to say that I am as a consumer, I have no choice but to buy from Amazon and Flipkart. I mean, that's one kind of monopoly. But the other monopoly that is going unaddressed is the fact that today, if you are a merchant, you are in an extremely difficult place because you can't avoid these guys. So you cannot afford to not be on Amazon as a merchant if you have something to sell. You cannot afford not to be on Flipkart if you have something to sell. So as a merchant, you also are kind of now stuck in this monopoly, right? This is the Web 2.0 phenomenon I just referred to earlier. Now, this is having very serious consequences. For example, there are lots and lots of studies out there to show that Amazon is doing highly anti-competitive practices. For example, let's say you are a merchant who's come up with this really nice t-shirt, right? And you go online, you go to Amazon, and Amazon t-shirt is selling like hotcakes, and you are like this big hit, you've gone viral, your product is viral, your brand is viral. Now, Amazon is able to see all the merchants offering t-shirts. Amazon has instrumented analytics and bots across the entire system to see that your t-shirt seems to be the one that is selling. So somebody will flag in Amazon soon that, hey, Professor Prasad's t-shirt startup is doing so well, and there seem to be reason people buy it. And there's all these comments out there that people write, we love this t-shirt because of X, Y, and Z. There are millions of feedback comments, and there's some unstructured analysis you do on the data. And all of a sudden they discover, what? Amazon discovers that, boy, we have cracked the code on how to build a successful t-shirt. Now, Amazon and Flipkart have been accused of having their own merchants, which are basically nothing but private labeled under their own brand. So now you're doing double dealing, right? You can start a company as Amazon, which produces the best t-shirt, which is like everything that you're doing plus a little more. Come in and put it every day, that look at your price and make it 20% cheaper. So all of a sudden, your business is over because they have essentially overtaken you and they have used your innovation against you, right? So this is the problem, unlocking the power of this aggregators, marketplaces, and giving retailers and all these merchants some degree of freedom to interoperate. So essentially, today you may have to sign a contract with Amazon saying that if you're offering this product on my platform, you can't offer it on Flipkart, or you can't do it on your own, right? All these anti-competitive restrictive practices, to break it, ONDC is essentially interoperability. If I'm a merchant, I should not have to be at the mercy of one aggregator or the other. I should have the ability to be open. And I think that's a powerful idea. Just like UPI is interoperable, right? No bank can control UPI. No fintech can control UPI because UPI stands above all of this. Similarly, in commerce and digital commerce, there's a need for opening up the system and unlocking the potential of the economy without letting aggregators having way too much power. So that's, in my view, the power of ONDC. But like I said, there's a lot more that I don't know yet.